Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you live around the world. I want to quickly carry on from the previous video and show where I'm heading as far as the design criteria. I don't want to short circuit that learning process because I went through the pain, so do you, just by listening to me. But it may not be that this is what you want to achieve. It may be not your goal. So by me biasing that approach may not then fulfill what you want to do. I don't know what that would be, but it may not. So these are the faces from the domes, and leaving them color coded so you can relate to it. So this is the air quotes correct version, and this is the I'd say the more likely the approach I will take, more on that later, to create this. Now you notice that, I'll just zoom in just a little bit, make it a little bit easier. Notice that this the lines created by these two faces are slightly convex. Well, these ones appear slightly convex. These appear slightly concave. Now, they may not be when you reorientate the drawing, but that's going to be important for later on. So I'll do the rotation 90 degrees, type it in, hit enter, times 3 gives me my shape that I want. Make a group, do exactly the same thing here, rotate 90 degrees times 3 gives me my shape. The trick here too is that while visually they may look the same, they are significantly different in the smaller areas that become important. You can I will draw this across, and it becomes very apparent the differences. Now these are based on exactly the same base measurement, the 1 by 1 by 1 for the 3 axes. You would think, whoops, get rid of the these other items. You would think they would be pretty much the same, but you can see, looking down on it, that the correct version has that deeper angle, while I was saying it was more concave. Well, rather the lines here and here are more convex and these ones than these. So when you start to line them up, you start to see the shortcomings of our design requirement of having the leg and this part flush. This is less like I want, this is more like I want. You follow with that? Well, you're better than me. Now, let's just move that back out of the way. And what I'll do is I'll draw a base in so we get more of a true representation, because they are generated differently, they start to trick the eye. So we need to be able to compare them if they're a different size. So we've got to be able to compare them fairly. Make a group. And you can notice, oops, just move that across. Difference in height. Why is that? It's the way those lines were generated and where the layers, as I referenced earlier, where they are created on the dome. So a minor difference in one area can have a significant difference in another. Okay, carrying on. I want to make this identical to this in size, so scale it. Zoom in a bit. close. Just double check here. Excuse the zooming in and out. Didn't click in the right area there. So I want the base to be the gauge upon which I make the models the same. Now I'm going to pause it and get this right, because I can see that it's going to be a bit fiddly, so I'll be right back. Righty-ho. That was laborious, and I didn't get it precise, so I don't know why. I must have a tiny inaccuracy. I've rescaled it. Remember, the two were generated off of a slightly different geometry, and those points may or may not have been the reason, or where the differences in the points shouldn't have been, because it was just squared and rotated. I don't know. So it's pretty close. Now, I've also, because I've rescaled this, I've gone to the extra effort of saying, or indicating that it's been rescaled, so that you don't go to use this later on for a different iteration or exploration and think this is the correct size, because it is not. But you can see again, as I was mentioning, actually I'll make that measurement part of the group as with that. You can see now the true differences in the two shapes. Again, the orange version is closer to what I want, but not quite. Now the question is, can you combine the two approaches? And the answer is, well, of course you can. All I need to do here is, as I showed in the last video, is I can rescale this upwards only. So if I said scale and I wanted to move it up and make it a bit taller, I can do that. You know, I can make it as whatever I want. I can make it quite tall and make it look more like a 3V or 3 frequency dome. But where all the lines line up are more akin to what I want. Is that wise? I'm not saying it's wise, but I'm saying it's possible. I'll undo that. Now, I'm going to stop this one. This will be a bit shorter, but I just wanted to get to this point here so that when we do the next video, we've got this in the back of our minds. Well, hopefully if you're watching the videos as a series, you watch these and remember some of the components, because I'll be coming back to this. And this will be a very necessary change to how we proceed to get the final result. But before that, I want to show you yet another way of creating a geodesic dome. Rightio. Hope that wasn't too confusing. If it was, I'm sorry. But I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.